going live.
Mhm.
I think it's going right way. But it already is. And then you just stare at the other screen. Wow, you are live. You're live.
We're live.
Yay.
Are we right now?
I believe so. Not really sure.
Hi
So
there.
just
Welcome
with
to
it.
Caring Conversations. We're about to get started with our Facebook Live presentation, and we have a very special guest today. I do want to give you a very short introduction to CARE. My name is Joy. I'm an advocate here at the Center for Abuse and Rape Emergencies, and we provide services for victims of violence, whether it be sexual assault or domestic violence or any violent crime in Charlotte County. We have many partners helping us with these efforts, and our guest today is Angela Buckhannon, who is our Victim Services Program Specialist at the Office of the Attorney General. She's in charge of many of the crime compensation claims that advocates can file. I'm going to give you one little teaser. We are so excited, and then we are going to be talking to Angela. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to send them in, and you will learn a little bit more about how advocates and communities and the state can combine to work to help victims of violence. We are very, very pleased to announce and to thank the Florida Coalition Against Sexual Violence and Bayfront in Punta Gorda, because we finally have this sexual assault nurse examiner training coming and scheduled for November 30th to December 4th. See, Angela thinks it's great too.
Yes.
We're trying to make it happen. It's going to happen. We cannot thank the Florida Council Against Sexual Violence and Bayfront Punta Gorda for making it happen. Call 941-639-5499 if you are a nurse who would like to have this unique opportunity for free. And I can't thank all the nurses who have done this over the years, and I welcome nurses to expand their repertoire and contribute in this way to helping us serve victims of violence. So without any further ado, Angela Buckhannon, who is the Victim Services Program Specialist, is going to talk about why on October 1st, the start of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we want to partner and what programs Crimes Compensation has for victims of domestic violence. I know some of them, but why don't you start with one of the most popular ones, Angela?
Well, thank you for having me. Let me start off by saying that I certainly appreciate it. We do have to work very closely with all of our domestic violence centers in order to assist our crime victims with our biggie. The big program is our domestic violence relocation program. And it is integral that they work with a center in order for them to get safety planning and for them to be able to walk them through the forms that the Bureau of Victim Compensation requires, which is our application and then the certification worksheet. And the worksheet goes down and it explains, the Attorney General's office is willing to assist up to $1,000 to qualified applicants for them to be able to use the $1,000 to relocate to a safe environment that is known to the offender. And it pays for some great things: shelter, housing deposits, rental vehicles, short-term storage facilities, moving companies, prepaid cellular cards, utilities, emergency food.
Boy, that's a lot for $1,000. That's why they work with the advocates to make it work. Use resources.
Well, and that the safety planning is so vital that the advocates at the centers do. And without you, we can't offer this assistance, because it's more than just offering some money to help them relocate. that safety planning also goes over, you know, what are they going to do next month whenever the bills are due, or what are their resources, who's there, do they have a support system where they're going?
Exactly. Exactly. And I understand that that relocation program, I don't know, it's been around 15 years,
Since 2000, so 20 years. It's
20 years. Okay. Okay. And I absolutely know as a longtime advocate that we have helped a lot of victims move to safety. But I know
right.
we couldn't do it alone as advocates. The state couldn't do it alone.
No.
Law enforcement can't do it alone. I
Mhm.
love this combination
Yeah, we
because
have to do it all together. I mean, we are
yes,
a team, and no one ever plans to be a victim. But if they become one, it's nice to know they have a safety net that
and how about for people who don't need to relocate? I mean, I know there's probably
right.
other benefits. Lost wages comes to mind. Are you able to
Well,
cover
if
that?
if they're injured, and of course, you know, with all of our programs, there are eligibility requirements that need to be met. But once they meet those eligibility requirements, if they're injured because of the incident, then yes, they can apply for medical benefits. They can apply for wage loss. They can apply for mental health counseling, even dental if the
Mhm.
incident, the crime report indicates that they had injuries to their teeth
Right,
or along those lines, as well as if they incur a disability, you know,
right.
a physical
Unfortunately.
disability because of their crime incident. So yeah, and it's, you know, the monies that we get for in order to set up the crime compensation trust fund was set up by our legislators many years ago, and they determined that that there are innocent victims of crime who need
Right.
financial assistance, and so they decided to use offender fines and fees, and those go into the trust fund, and then the Bureau of Victim Compensation pays them forth with the help of advocates.
So that's kind of a restitution. That's law enforcement doing their part, right? The state's
Yes.
doing their part. You do have to meet with an advocate for to file for many of these things.
Right.
We like to provide and are always here to provide, even during COVID, 24-hour response, hospital response. However, the longer term counseling, we can't always do that. We do the crisis. So here is a way to get that longer term counseling paid for and to help you back on the road to safety. And I really do think of it that way, that you kind of do the tangible
Mhm.
financial stuff and we get to do the supportive, educational, informative, you know, holding hand, I call it even.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
What
Right.
other benefits does the Crimes Compensation Fund offer?
Well, and you know, it's not, and this is, you know, inclusive of domestic violence victims if they
Of
fall
course.
different categories. But if they were, we also pay for property loss for anyone who's 60 or older or disabled adult, if they had their property damaged or stolen as the result of a criminal incident. We could assist them. And if unfortunately, if they were a victim of sexual assault, we could pay for the forensic examination, you know, as well as any medical benefits coming from that.
You know, that is such an important point. We do not want any victim of crime to be fearful of coming for help, whether it's to us, which of course is free and confidential, or to law enforcement, due to a lack of fear about monetary.
Right.
Okay. We absolutely know that holding the offender accountable going forward cannot be done by one person alone, i.e. the victim. It absolutely needs to be all of us, and we are here to do that. So please, um, the relocation funding has, I know for a fact, has been a life-saving um, avenue of financial resources for individuals. And I also know that it kind of marries the whole process. If we have the offender paying into the fund, we have the state, you know, distributing it. We have wonderful advocates like Angela and C.A.R.E and the law enforcement and state attorney's office. coordinating to provide the service, please don't hesitate to ever call us to find out if you can get those benefits.
And I'm glad you brought up COVID because, you know, the Attorney General's office is still working 40 hours a week to process these claims. During the last fiscal year, they processed over 22,000 claims, and over 5,000 of those were domestic violence relocation claims.
And can you repeat the time frame there?
That is during one fiscal year.
Okay. So 5,000
over 5,000
victims.
5,522 to be exact. During
okay.
last fiscal year.
And you said you didn't have any statistics.
Wow.
Well, you know your work. Exactly. And that's the state of Florida. Okay. This is yes, this is something that is available nationwide, different levels of cooperation and participation. But I think the state of Florida can be proud of what they have done. I didn't even know the number was that high. That makes my heart feel good, you know.
Well, and it's those are the ones who actually needed to relocate that are applying, you know, because the program is set up for people who are in immediate need and to assist them to relocate to a safer environment.
And, you know, while we're talking about relocation, every time I get the chance in front of a camera, I have to say this. That is a monumental task for a person escaping violence to have to do, to move their job, to move their children, to start school, to stop school. It's absolutely monumental. And I'm glad we have the partners that will help us do it. What I'd really like to see is less people needing that, you know, and that's where we have to have the coordinated effort. That's where we have to have people recognizing that this is not a one person problem.
No.
And obviously statewide, you see it, you know,
Yes.
You see it in our area, you see it in every county, you see it in every state of the nation. So making these individual efforts to help that one woman as an advocate is totally worth it, is what I do. This is our job. But it does do my heart good to know that there's been that many over 1 year, because we do know that the rates continue to rise. It's kind of one of those 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Is that the saying? 1 step forward, 2 step back. It is an ongoing effort, and we cannot thank the Attorney General's Office, Crimes Compensation Fund for the training they provide us, for the ongoing support, ongoing technical support, so we can be a really good partnership. I am going to throw out a reminder that C.A.R.E, just like the Attorney General's Office, is here 24 hours a day. Our 941-639-5499 number. We also want you to go to our Facebook page where you're seeing us now, hopefully, at C.A.R.E Charlotte County, and give us some questions. We are very lucky to have Ms. Buckhannon here. And again, my sincere thanks, Angela.
Thank you. Thank you
we
for
can have
having me.
other experts. And October 15th, we are lucky to have our own shelter manager running the domestic violence shelter. If you've ever wondered, oh my God, how much it takes to run a shelter, she can give you a little bit of insight. That will be 2 weeks from now on Thursday, October 15th, 4:00. Angela, anything you would like to share, or any initiatives that are happening with the Crime Compensation Fund that you can give an update on?
Well, I mean, one of the things I just wanted to really mainly part in saying is that we appreciate all of the centers all throughout the state of Florida and all the hard work that you guys do. Oftentimes we're looking at an application, but that represents a person that you are in person with and assisting and offering, caring, and attention and assistance, and it's invaluable.
It and the coordination is invaluable. I can't even remember where the "it takes a village" came from, but I truly believe it in that we do need everyone to help in this effort to end violence against people, to work for a more peaceful, society. We cannot count on criminal justice to do it alone, though I do like that the offenders pay into this process. I
Yes.
think that would surprise some people that that's kind of how it works. It was set up that way, you said?
Yes, they often think that it's tax dollars that are being used, but it's the Crime Compensation Trust Fund, which is funded by offenders' fines and fees.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Again, I'm going to give out some numbers. 941-637-0404 is our sexual assault helpline. We again thank the Florida Coalition, the Florida Council, I'm so sorry, against sexual violence for supporting these efforts. We kind of want to know if you think they're beneficial, if they're helpful. You can always reach an advocate here 24 hours a day. And though the Attorney General's Office and Crime Compensation Fund with Angela is working different hours and remote during the COVID, the way to them is through us. So please let us partner, let us use our resources to help you. If you are a victim out there right now listening, I want you to know that all it takes is a phone call. We cannot promise you the world, but we will promise that we will care, we will try, and we will listen. So 941-637-0404. We're here 24 hours a day. And C.A.R.E Charlotte County is our Facebook page. For those who are not familiar, Domestic Violence Awareness Month is every October. So we know that there are victims every day of the year. But we do try to honor and increase awareness. We thank the Attorney General's Office for supporting these efforts. And Angela, any final thoughts?
No, thank you very much for all you do.
Okay, thank you, Angela, for being with us. And in your busy schedule, join us 2 weeks from now.
Absolutely.
And
you're on my calendar.
And learn what it takes to become run a shelter. It might be very eye-opening.
Big job.
Thank you for your time and thank you for being with us today. Bye.